We have an issue. When I did this and bypassed the pipe that runs across there, we abandoned it. Yeah, off! Right, that's definitely that feed. Right, yeah, turn it on and see. We can leave it at that and I'll turn this valve and see if pressure goes down. Yeah, that's getting away down there now. So that must feed my house. Water, water, water. That 28mm copper there is to my house. And we disconnected all this because it runs under the foons here and diverted it all around there. But I ran dry and Gate Lady is nae happy. So we best get it fixed. Secured. Kev and Harvey are just changing a load of metal on a plough right now because it's a hosing wet, horrible day. And Kev can show them how it all works. He was just needing some shares. We've got more access in here now. Oh my god, what is going on there? We've got some concoction made up here. Don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to seal onto that old copper pipe because it's a little bit dinged and dented. It's either bashed and not circular anymore, or I don't know what size it is, but it's bigger than 28mm. I don't know if over time do they swell. Old copper pipes, do they swell? I can't get that olive on, no chance. This is just a recipe for something that is no chance of sealing. You're just damaging it. Right, turn that on. Hello?
Hello, no water, sorry. I just have a question for you.
No water. No water, dog. Jack of all trades, master of fuck all. Now, let's shine that up again. Right. Apparently no water still. Before anything went wrong, there was a feed pipe here and it joined at that joint onto this pipe. That fed into here and it teed straight on and it teed to the right. What we did was cut off both of those two pipes, took the feed from here, wrapped it around the back into the house. No problem. House had water, and roughly from that same point our house started to run dry. Now our house lies downhill from here and there's a long length of pipe, so we were still getting water for a while, pressure was down, and ever so often the pressure does go down, so didn't really think much of it until it didn't come back up and it was getting less and less and less. That's when I twigged, oh, what we did earlier has turned off our water completely. Removing those two pipes turned off our water, so that's why earlier we plumbed into that one, fed it, there was nothing. Took the feed off of there, fed it onto there, still nothing. We found another pipe. That's my house. We've got water, just a bit muddy. Oh, poor Hamish, sorry lad. Sorry lad. Quite a few calves this year like that. That's a cracker of a calf, but mothers are just not that interested. I just covered it in feed there now so the cow gets in about and licks it, but a few cows just being a bad mothers, just not interested. Don't really know where that comes from. I just made it to her in the nick of time actually. She wasn't getting up, the calf had a bag over its face. Pretty confident that would have suffocated. Right, back to bed. See you in the next clip. Also, see that cow in the very far distance against the wall. She had the Caesar last year. She's calved herself, no problem. in calf to one of my own bulls this year, so I know my own bulls generally don't spit out monstrous calves, and she's not as fit as last year. She was a bit rotund. Bruiser's just arrived. Bruce some barley and some beans. Obviously to wash the lawnmower. Let's do a service and get it going for when the grass starts growing. I've just been concreting in that Toby that was leaking, that where all the burst was. But just put a bit of planings to hold the concrete up because it's a little bit watery at the moment. And then once it dries, we'll planings all round about it just to tidy it up. Right, I'm going to leave them to it. I'm going to do a bit of concrete. I'm just praying this doesn't break while we manoeuvre it. We're going to concrete this in. My brother's house, they've got concrete getting made right now, so I'll steal some. Harvey's digging it out at the moment. Just dump this down here. Right, nice and concreted around the outside. We've got concrete down inside there. It's not the smoothest in there, it was quite dry by the end, but it's fine for what we're needing. That's that all protected. So that's the shaft that comes up. That goes down 61 metres, I think. It's steeled down to about 21 metres, and then it's just the core of the actual earth. And then concrete around the outside, that's in the way. We just need to make a lid or something for it, keep that protected. And then if anything comes around here, a trailer or something, it's going to hit the concrete's going to take the brunt of it rather than the steel. Although maybe we shouldn't have put concrete in the middle, so there's a bit of flex, but anyway, it's in now. Another job that's been on the list for too many years. Bateman steps. Kev pulled them off and somewhat straightened this up. I'm going to straighten up a little bit more and then we're going to plate this, because that's the weak point. Change of plan, I'm just going to make a new bit. Big delivery just arrived. Let's go and unload it. Malted barley is back. Dad's just shifting a few bags of fert which are down this side, which is where we're going to put the malt. So I'll just nip over here. So you squeeze it all in there next to the last little bit of OSR. We're just going to leave a gap at the back for getting vermin traps and whatnot in. 22 tonne going in here. There's more coming tomorrow as well, the balance, another 6 tonne. That's the beans that got bruised. Empty lorry, job done. Need to give Andy Law a shout, who is our pest controller, because I'll get him to bait this pretty hard, just because he don't want mice in there. Once they're in, you don't get them out. 10 tonne to Inchaffrey whiskey, roughly 12 to 15 odd tonne to Wasted Degrees, and then the rest, Bandit beer. We're just weighing out beans. We need to get weigh scales for this machine. I keep meaning to look into it and I never get that far, but right now we put that bucket on a pallet with beans in it and we weigh it with this forklift because it's got weigh scales, so it's a bit backwards and a bit of a faff, but Dad's going to take a bit there, put it back in the pallet, I'll weigh it. We need 1.4 tonne. That's 1.5. We've weighed that. That is 730 kilos there. We need 1.4 tonne in the mix, so same again basically. So because they're quite dry, they've kind of shattered really, rather than like being squashed. They've burst and smashed open. Just fine, but I think they're better if they're just rolled. Right, job done. That's 20 kilos shy of 1.4 tonne, but I'm not 100% sure how accurate it is, so no point trying to get the 20 kilo. Now we have to do the same with soya. So we are changing our cattle feed because we're running a little bit low on rapeseed meal. So we used to have 2 tonne in our batch mix, in about 20 tonne of barley plus soya, but we don't have enough to do that, so we're going to drop to 1 tonne of rapeseed meal. We've bought these beans and we'll still use soya. So Lorna Shaw SAC has done up a mix for me: 1.4 tonnes of beans, 1.2 tonnes of soy, 1 tonne rapeseed meal, 18.3 tonne of barley plus minerals, and 1 cube of molasses, and it works out at £235 a tonne, and that is using barley at a price of £180 a tonne. So that's ballpark where it's sitting at right now. I think weigh scales would help a lot. That's why I'm keen on getting weigh scales. RDS, is that the good make of them? Someone told me something about RDS. Total faff. Chuck weigh scales in the forklift, turns it into a complete and utter no faff job. Grab a bit of soya, grab a bit of beans, rapeseed meal, barley's there, bags of minerals, job done. Mix it up. Easy peasy. We're getting through this here. I've got a new bracket on there. Just need to drill the 2 holes which I've marked on this side with paint there. I'm going to put a bit of steel here as well because that's the weak bit there. My weld's got nice once I came round the back and down there, but I started off with the wrong feeds and speeds, gangly looking, and it's right at the front, but oh well. And then I need to make a tab like this to go there as well on that side to double up the thickness. Kev's just been given that our service. Harvey cleaned it yesterday, brought it in here. Kev's given it a full service. I think he's done now. Just checking everything's working, but oils are all changed, filters are all changed. Service kit there from HRN and a cap. Happy days. Right, we're done with this. In hindsight, I should have just actually double plated the whole thing all the way up here. I was trying to strengthen this bit, but in turn, it's going to break. It's going to be weak over here, so I should have double plated it all the way up. Hey ho, another couple of licks of paint, job done. I've too much thinners on the paint right now, so sharp edges, the paint's running off, but I'm not mixing up new paint. Harvey and Kev sorted through legs and whatnot for that new Simba, just to check we've got everything we need. We've got enough to do everything, but we've kind of mixed and matched because we've got tungsten pointed tips here, there's 4 of them, and then the rest are kind of just standard steel. I just need to decide whether I'm going to go and finish off the full setting so we're all tungsten tips, or do we just run it right now as is and we can compare how those tungsten tips hold up. In terms of wear profile, they'll be like amazingly better, but you clip a stone and whatnot and you chip them. That's where you turn a rather expensive point into the same as a cheap one. I've actually just asked Gary at Spalding's the price of the tungsten tips, standard tips, and another set of tips. Just out of curiosity, because I've not bought the tungsten ones before and I don't know how much they are. It looks a bit of a mess with runs and all that, but anyway, it's done. That's been done with thinners. I'm going to chuck this on. Pull it on some ground and see what it's like. I forgot to click record, but we're yoked up. I'm not convinced I'm going to get past that 724 there. It's got quite a swing on it. Oh, I forgot to put any gravity on the front, you donkey. I've just been setting up the sequencing here for this machine. I've got a drop-in sequence and a lift-out sequence going end, which basically just spools the wheels in the back to lift the machine up and lifts the linkage a little bit so there's clearance at the front. So if we press end right now, that will lift up and out. Spin round here, you'd come in here to your automark, guidance, and then once the machine's lined up a bit better, go, drops the wheels, lifts them out of the way. Nice and simple. Kev's got it set to 3.9 metres at the moment. That wasn't on GPS, that line, I was just driving, so I'll tell you once I spin round there if that's fine. It is slipping a little bit, but I've got basically zero front traction, so I've got no weight on the front. So add that front weight, it'll help. I think if we put all the legs on, it is potentially going to be an issue. 9.5k, there you go, 1300 revs at the moment. It's working a bit harder coming up here. This is actually some power hard ground. Yeah, it's working, it's working. Let's just have a little gander over this broccoli ground. Yeah, see, I'm digging a hole. I need the weight on the front, and actually I'm too deep here. Look at these discs, are way down. Let's lift that out of the ground a little bit. It is a bit wet and sticky, so that's not helping. We're just half on, half off the broccoli ground. Conditions are not ideal, it's a bit wet and sticky. I've no front weight on, so less than ideal. Chuck a ton and a half up the front, get a bit more grip out the front tyres. Depth wise, like I'm fine on the beds, but I'm not really doing much in the ruts. Legs, I've only got 2 legs of 10 on. That's worrying me. It is worrying me. I did know this would be a bit of a brute to pull with all the legs on. That is not the main use of this machine, so it wasn't a huge concern of mine. Of the ground, it is working, it's doing a fine job. It's gonna work, it's gonna work. With the legs on, it's going to be a very, very different situation. There's a little bit of adjustment in the leg mounting point, so we could like drop to 7 legs. Nah, the spacing won't be good for that actually. 5 legs is easy, take out every other one, which is only 3 more legs than there is just now, so I think with the weight and the 3 legs we're fine. That is a specific case, and we're not going to be doing a lot of that. That'll need worked a couple of times really. On the stubble, it's going well. Oh, that's a bearing on the way out. Oh. There was one bearing Kev and I thought was quite stiff, the rest were pretty free, so it was on this side. I'm sure it was the second set back. That one's just not the freest, but what's squawking? Here's these tungsten tipped points. Interested to see how they'll last, we've never used them before. These are the scrapers we need to change design, because these little things, they twist, the steel twists, and it's a really weak spot for them. So they're like a 2-part scraper, they're quite expensive, and they bend and they break, and quite frankly they're shit. Looks good, chuck some weight in the front. You can see how it's sitting there light, and I have got all the weight of the machine on the tractor right now, but its nose is up, not getting much action out of these front wheels. Happy days, a bit of gravity up the front and we're dancing. Is it the roller? That's what's squeaking. What is it? Please be a wee stone. I found it. That's going to be a common problem. The stones, where was the stone gone? That was it. Is that wee stone? Just wedged in that little gap there. Just rubbing up against the... That's what was squeaking. That's going to happen all the time. At least it's not a bearing. Yay, my squawk has gone. Now, apparently these machines are prone to bouncing above 10k. So we're going to rattle on. Let's get up to 12.5k. No extreme bouncing, but a little notion of a bounce there. That's 12.5k. He's working hard at that, to be fair. Right, what's the plan, Emily?
We're going to put the lights on the go brake.
Absolutely. So we've got loads of tools to do the job. We need to find a place to mount the light. I think it can go right there. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, what do we need to do first then?
Get all the tools out.
Yeah, you can get tools out. And where do we need to get into?
The battery.
Yep. Right, we're into the battery. What's what?
Red, black.
And what does red mean?
Negative.
No.
And positive.
Yep. So black is?
Positive.
No. Black's negative.
I said negative first.
Yeah, but I asked what red was and you said negative.
Oh.
So black is negative, red is positive. Yeah? We need to take these terminals off so we can connect the wiring for the lights into there. Do you know what that shape is? What tool we need on top of that?
Screwdriver.
Yeah, what type of screwdriver?
Phillips.
Yep. Bang on.
So do I have to put this under the bolt?
Yes, that's going to go under the red one. But what we'll do is we'll take these terms off and we'll figure out where we're going to put everything first.
Okay.
Because we might need to make a wee bracket for up here.
How do we make a wee bracket?
We go to the workshop and we cut up some bits of steel.
So we have to go back to Goldburn.
I don't know yet. We'll see. There you go. You can just pull it now. Lift it up. Where?
There.
You want the switch there? Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
There? Or do you want it that side? Same side as the keys or the other side?
I think keep like round it.
Okay, we'll put it right there. Right, you're going to drill the hole. Right, hold on. Let me just put it on slow mode at the moment. There you go. Right, pull the trigger a little bit.
Okay. Now, how do I reverse it?
That's it. So we're going to need it a bit bigger because it's going to need to take the whole switch. So make sure it's in no. Go in the same hole. Push down. Right, you plug that in. That's it in?
Yep, that's in.
Right, you try the switch, Emily. Oh, it's not working. We need to figure out why it's not working. Right, we're back to the quad bike. We've figured it out, Freddie, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we need to put one of the wires off of the switch to live, or we can put it into the ignition so that the light only works when the ignition's on. That would be better because then you won't leave it on. A special tool for doing this, but these work as well. And if you squeeze that as hard as you can, squeeze. There you go. Right, we'll let it off. We'll pull that little thing. Are you gonna squeeze with me? Squeeze. There you go. Right, is the wire tight? Pull it a little bit.
Yeah.
Good. Right, so now we can put that on. If you get the Phillips over there, push down hard. That's it. There you go, now it should lift out. Right, so to put that through there. Yeah. So is that good? Right, there you go, you turn the switch. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
I think it'll work now, try that. Oh, look at that. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
wired in here, have you?
Yeah.
There you go. Right, turn it off and on again. And on again. There you go. Do you think it needs to point down a wee bit? About where do you want it to point?
About there.
Right there, okay, fine. You'll be able to go out in the dark now.
Yeah.
Right, so we just need to, what do we need to get?
Smaller rings.
Yep, smaller connectors. And what else? Some snips?
Yeah.
Some wire strippers. Because when we cut the wire, it's got lots of plastic on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we need to get at the metal to put the connectors on, so the wire strippers will take the plastic off for us. Why is the plastic on the wires?
So if you're using wires, you don't get zapped.
Yeah, so you don't get zapped, and so it doesn't short circuit. Yeah. Short circuits when, if the wire was going past the handlebars and it didn't have the plastic on it, it would touch the handlebars and it would, the electric would, well, it might zap you, but also electric would go on the handlebars and not where it's meant to go.
Yeah.
Whereas we need to go to the light. It looks a little bit of a mess right now, but we'll get it going. We need to put it in neat and tidy, don't we? You've got the same lights as me. Come and have a look. See? I've just got the bigger version. Don't look into it, it's bright. I've just got the bigger version.
Yeah.
You've got 2 LEDs. I've got 6. And I've got some in the back as well. It's a bit overkill, that light for the quad bike. It's an absolute belter, those lights. It'll drain the battery a fair bit, but cross that bridge. Cheers working. Right, we've got to go quick or you're going to miss the bus to school. Maybe that's a good thing. You go round that corner and climb up onto the concrete.
We need these cattle for the butchery. Do I need to come back?
No.
Hey, where are you?
Is there a walkie-talkie right from there? Yeah. All the way up to there. Freddie's walkie-talkieing up the hill to get Emily to get his school shoes and his school bag. Why are we in a rush?
Because it's a school day.
So you need to catch the bus?
Yeah.
Would you rather just stay and farm?
I don't know.
Right, have fun at school.
Yeah,
You gonna make it?
I think so.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi. The door. Fetched 4 beats from down at yard 3. Just gonna load them off here. We're picking out for our own butchery, so the likelihood we'll end up with maybe that Angus, but probably not these 3. Run this lot over to the handling system.